I think Anikka said that the women who make a lot of money, uh, the one thing you said that for men, they don't want to be with the woman that makes a lot of money because it's insecurity because he don't want to because he might feel like he makes less, so he might feel insecure being with that woman. That's what you said, right? All right, so that's the one thing I always have to break it down. For a lot of women, it's not a lack of insecurity of why a guy doesn't want to be with a woman who makes more money. First of all, first of all, like number one, he if a girl makes more money than a man, he won't even look his way. The more money a woman makes, she just only wants to date a guy that makes out of the same level of type of income or more.
Mhm.
All right. You guys ever heard of the term like hypergamy? Anika, you heard of it? Have you heard of Lena?
I haven't.
So hypergamy is like it's like the study they did of understanding women behavior is for for women when it comes to what they look for in a partner, they're always looking for a partner with a similar social or economic status or higher. Most
Yeah.
women would not want to date a guy or marry a guy that's lower in her social economic status, depending on where she's at. So women, especially on this podcast, there's also studies on it, but also based on all the girls I've talked to on this podcast, whenever I ask them what type of man they want, most women want a guy that's superior than her. They want a strong guy. They want a guy that's taller. They want a guy that's making either similar, making more money. They want a guy that's doing better than her, that she can look up to as a leader. She wants a guy that's ambitious, that's strong, that's confident. So you're always looking for either your equal or a man that's superior than you. So the problem with a lot of women they don't understand is the more money they make, they're only looking for a guy with the same socioeconomic status as her. So I think one of you guys brought up the six figures. So if you're a woman making six figures, only about 20% of people, I think 10 to 20% of people in America makes over six figures. So that means your dating pool is only 20% because you're not willing to date any guy less than 100,000. You want a guy that's making the same amount of income. But the problem with that for a lot of women don't understand is men, like I told you guys before, like we don't care about how much money a woman makes. We don't look for her. We don't care about your ability to provide and protect and take care of me. Because as men, that's our role. Like we feel comfortable taking care of you. So we don't care about your degrees. We don't care about how much money you make. We're always looking into your femininity. But the number one thing that we look in a woman is like we could care less about how much money you make. We just want to make sure that we look at your like, is she beautiful? Is she fertile? Can I have kids with this lady? Is she nurturing? Is she caring? Is this the type of woman that I want that can raise my kids? Is she attractive enough for me that I would want to have sex with her? She's not a whole, she's not promiscuous. She's not a whole going out there and sleeping with a man. That's all men care about when it comes to selecting their partner. So how much money you make has no that make we don't even consider, we don't even look into, we don't care about that. But for women, it's opposite. You guys care about how much a guy's ability, his potential to to support and financially take care of you. But for men, that's one of the things I have to explain to women, especially the women who are very successful, because they're like, I'm very successful. How come men are not attracted to me? I always tell them because we don't care about your socioeconomic status because that's not what we look for. We just care about your femininity. Are you attractive? Are you nurturing, caring? Are you, can I have kids with you? You're the type of woman that's gentle, this kind that we can be compatible with. We can have a great relationship with, and also you can be a great example to my kids. And if I choose to procreate with you. So I always tell women this like we do not care about how much money you make. Like it doesn't matter to me. Whatever she's making. That's why you can see you've seen a lot of times, like a lot of successful men, you've seen a lot of successful men, they'll go to like, they'll marry a girl from like Starbucks. You see this all the time. A millionaire, a guy that's a millionaire, he'll marry a guy the average girl. Because as long as she's beautiful to him, he'll marry her. But you will never see a millionaire marry a guy from Starbucks. A woman who's a millionaire. A woman that's a millionaire, you will never see her go to Starbucks and meet a guy and marry her. You never see it. A man can marry a broke girl as long as she's beautiful to him, but a woman can never marry a broke guy. What are your thoughts? What do you guys think? I know there was a lot there to process, but what do you guys think?
I actually I don't want to agree, but I think I agree. Like my feminist is telling me no, don't agree to that. But I like based on trends that I've seen, yeah, I kind of agree that women kind of hold more of a power of I make this much than guys do, because it's like guys are expected to, right? Guys are
Yeah,
expected,
that's what we do. Yeah.
and so for us females, like especially a female that has all of like good female qualities,
Mm-hmm.
she has a career, like we think we're the whole package plus a bag of M&Ms, you know? So So like that raises our self-worth, I think, like, and which is really good for ourselves. But so the monetary value for a guy, like that's basically included in the default package. So them making more money, like, yeah, it's good and whatever, but they were already expected to do that, so that, like, that doesn't add the bag of M&Ms for them. That's just like, I'm
Yeah.
doing what I do, right? So that's why, like, they're fine with marrying that girl from Starbucks, right? And they probably actually look for that because they're like, oh, she needs help, she probably needs help with money and I have money, like, good match, right? But that female is like, I have that little bit of extra, so I want someone else with something extra too, because it's not fair if I'm giving you all of this and my M&Ms, and like, you're not giving me anything back. Like, if I give you a gift, I want a gift back. So I think that's what it is that we just see it as something more, and because of that, we just want what we give. And so, yeah, that's what I think. That's what
Yeah.
I think.
Anika?
Yeah, so I don't know, maybe it's like cultural differences, but even then, like being Hispanic, most of my abuelitas are the caretakers. So maybe it was just like me growing up, but my mom, like, even though she didn't have to work, she always worked because she was like, if shit hits the fan, I
Yeah.
I have it. Like, I don't need your dad. I don't need his money. I have my own thing. And so I like grew up feeling that way. Like, I don't, like, I've been sick and I didn't let my boyfriend do anything. I was like, I'm taking care of my own. Like, I will drive to the store with 3 masks on. I don't care. Like, you're not doing it for me. And I think that that might have been a little different than like culturally what we've been taught, because so I kind of did like a YouTube video on this because I talked about like the male supremacy or the male like superiority, because they've constantly been told for like hundreds of years that they're good enough. They've constantly been told like, yeah, you're the provider. You make all the money. You're good. You're hot shit, right? But women haven't. And so when Lena was saying like that extra like M&Ms on the side, like, because they have that like extra part of their like the package. I think that that's like something that they don't want to let go of, and they want to find someone like either equal or above. And the men aren't the other way, like the men are cool with marrying someone from Starbucks or whatever, is because they've been told that they're the caretakers. Like, they have been told that. No one has told them, hey, you can stay home and watch kids. Hey, you can do laundry and you can do this too. So
Mhm.
like, men marrying someone from Starbucks but girls not being the other way around, I think that is like a very societal thing. I think that doesn't have to be the case, but because men forever have been told that they're the shit, women were like literally couldn't vote, and now I mean, women in Saudi Arabia were just given the right to drive. Like, we're not gonna let that go. So I think
Okay.
that like extra, men being okay with that, I think that is something that the media has programmed, but that's just my opinion.
No worries.
Lena's
I
thoughts.
would. Oh, Lena,
I
you want to go ahead? Go ahead. Go ahead, Lena. Go ahead.
Yeah. Dang, I just totally realized something talking about this. So this was one of the biggest issues with my previous relationship, and this was actually the last thing that kind of ended it. Um, when she brought up being sick, and I'm the exact same way when I'm sick. I really don't like to have guys do things for me, and it's not because that, oh, I can do it myself, oh, I'm a strong woman. It's not that. It's like, I just don't like to be a burden sometimes. I hate asking for things, and that's a culture thing. I'm Palestinian. We never ask for things. Like, if someone like, if you're at someone's house and they offer you anything like a juice, like, you have to say no at least 3 times or something like that. And but the culture is that the person that's offering it keeps persisting, take it, take it, take it, and then like the fourth or fifth time you're like, okay, fine. So I mean, that's how I am. Like, I will never ever tell someone, hey, can you drop me off something, like, go out of your way and drop this off. Like, that's so cringe to me. And so in my last relationship, it actually came down to literally a doctor's appointment. He said that he wanted to take me to a doctor's appointment, and I was saying, due to COVID and stuff like that, I don't even think you could come into the hospital. Like, I probably have to go in by myself. He said, even if it's by yourself, I want to drive you there. And I said, okay, that's fine. And we planned to go together at noon. But they called me. They told me they had an earlier appointment available at 8 in the morning, and he was still asleep. And so I thought it wasn't any big deal. I went and did my doctor's appointment by myself. It wasn't a big deal. But he was so hurt by it. He was so hurt, and it's crazy to say this out loud, but that's what ended it, because he thought that I was selfish to go without him. And for me, that's like, it was crazy to me. But I think you really opened my eyes to that his masculinity was probably threatened by it. I think a reason why we kind of ended was we were both too masculine. We were both taking care of ourselves and trying to take care of the other, and it was just overload. So I don't know, you really just opened my eyes to that. I thought like, oh my God, he's crazy. Like, how am I selfish for taking myself to the doctors? But I don't know. That's really interesting. I feel like maybe I'm just masculine and my job.
I mean, if you're in engineering, that's one of the, that's a STEM field, right? Yeah. That's one of the most STEM fields are dominated by men.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to be masculine. If any woman that tells me they're part of the STEM field, I know it for a fact that you have to be masculine to be able to not only be in contention with other men out there, but also be able to compete with them. So, but go ahead.
Like even your way of thinking, like as an engineer, like my boyfriend and I got in a fight the other day because he needed a list, like to clean. He needed an actual list of like step by step how to do everything. And I was like, why? Right? But seeing like, if you're an engineer as a woman, that's rare because women don't think like that. And so like the way you think is different from a lot of females. So like that didn't seem like a big deal to you, but like for like a guy who is not logical, who doesn't think, oh, 8 p.m. I was asleep, that's cool. Yeah, she drove herself. Like, that's logical. That makes sense. So he was thinking more emotional than you were.
Exactly. Like for me, it made sense. I'm like, okay, I get like my afternoon free. You're sleeping, so I'm not gonna wake you up. Like, and so and you're right. Like my thinking is very logical. I've been programmed that way, and combining that with my culture of, oh, we don't ask for things. Like I would have rather died than call him and been like, hey, wake up now, take me to the doctor. When I'm full and capable, I have a car full of gas right outside. So yeah, it's a combination of that. Like I thought of it logically, he thought of it emotionally, and it just didn't work out.